everybody, and welcome to Roll with Advantage, and welcome back to Buried Time. Yes, we are back. We are here. Everybody's wonderful, beautiful faces are here, ready to participate in the incredibly exciting session that is planned for today. With that, Mark, take it away.
Hey, yo, it's your boy Wonton. These are my strips. Welcome to Buried Time. It's been a month, which is a long time to not do D&D. It all sort of
Also,
feels
thank you
like
to Arrow for the 4 months in the chat. Sorry, I just saw that.
Oh, shit! Oh, that's cool as hell.
What is happening?
Thank you.
I'm right now.
I'm
Probably a good
DMing.
thing.
That's what's happening, John. This is how this...
Mark, are you doing a voice? Were you just doing a voice?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I was doing...
Oh my God.
The character was rolls R's where there are none. I'm a big fan of that character.
It is a good one.
To give you an example, your name is Joseph. Joseph.
It's a good name.
Yeah, you should say it like that. So, we're ready to go back in it. It's been a month. It's been a long time. It kind of feels like everything that happened in this campaign was a dream. But we're still people from a beetle, going through the desert, talking to bugs, learning about ancient history, looking for a cure. Evan will hopefully summarize in more detail what happened, and specifically what happened last time we played in Chapter 5. And Gemma, we also have you on Mystery Beverage. Mystery Beverage! Go ahead and show us the Mystery Beverage.
Let me just ramp it up real quick. Yeah. It sounds really dumb. Can you see that?
Ooh. Okay, so it's something
Special
with edible glitter.
Yeah, you're drinking glitter. It's what I can see.
Hopefully edible glitter.
I don't know how well you can see that.
Yeah, I
Pretty
I
well.
know what it is. I know what it is.
Is it clear or is it vaguely tan?
It's not tan, but it's also not clear. There you go. It's reddish hue.
It's transparent.
It just doesn't come through very well.
Alright, slight reddish hue with glitter in it. Alright. That is
a liquid, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a gel.
Just wanted to make sure that you didn't have
I mean, not like
It's
steel.
gelatin on its way to hardening,
Something.
but not yet.
You're just drinking jam.
Well,
That's
I mean, that would be a mystery. Alright, so,
What?
that is a mystery beverage indeed. No question about that. So, everybody try to figure it out before the second half. Evan, take it away with the summary. What happened in Chapter 5 of Buried Time?
I can't wait to tell you all. For I have lost my summary that I wrote immediately after last session, so I get to go based off of memory from a month ago, which will not be good. Forewarning. So, to begin, we got to actually see one of the 5 images, which was the insectoid creature that was missing limbs, surrounded by gemstones and artifacts, also known as No One. Or, right? Yes?
Yes.
Looking for No One. The Thicrene. And so we got to basically ask them anything. But, of course, that came after we had to solve some language barriers, which at first we thought we would not get through. But of course, Callum, the liar he is, pulled out the gem that he was hiding all along. And Devuk had a lot of problems with that, which was a big thing of that session.
You want to freaking say it to my face? You bitch.
So we got a lot of good information, and one of the bigger things was that there's a temple that we have to go to. And I'm sorry, this is where my summary is starting to be very shitty. So we had to go to a temple, and there's multiple ways that we could go there, but we chose to ride a giant worm, basically to get there, Dune style, basically. That's how I imagined it. And we got trained to do it, and our trainer absolutely doubted us big time. But we kind of ignored his doubts and went at it anyways. And we were successful in doing that. It's pretty funny because I know Elias jumped out in front of the worm a couple times before we got it right. But when we did, we got to shoot across the desert in this awesome scene of riding on this worm until we popped out in front of the temple where we camped out, and a cat came to us again. Yeah, so very high level, not very detailed, but unfortunately my notes and summary didn't save because I'm using Windows Notepad for my notes. So like the software engineer
Alright.
I am.
No, that's cool. I think that was most of it. I'm gonna go ahead and fill in 2 important details that I remember, that perhaps should be restated anyway, since I, as the DM, might have a little bit more of a clear picture on them than was communicated a month ago. One of them is that Moza popped in, basically warning everybody one last time, do not go forward with this. Not only morally are you poop farts if you do it, according to my lens of reality, you are gonna taste my wrath. And the party said, nah, we're good, we'll taste the wrath. And he promised that you won't be really hearing from him much anymore. He's just gonna send some friends to take care of you and keep doing what he needs to do in the city of Jamila. The second thing is that when Sandcat visited, there was a moment of communication between the Sandcat and Davuk's swarm, where, without the use of words, Sandcat seemed to say some sort of goodbye to the group, at least for now. So everybody goes to camp that night with the confidence that this will be the last time Sandcat's around, at least for a while. And the gift you all received, I don't know who put it in what inventory, but it was just a small, solid piece of adamantine ore, which is one of the hardest materials in existence that can really do damage to any number of solid structure. Yeah. So, there's that. Think we're good? Somebody put in the chat, she's drinking thigh cream. I don't think Gemma has a cup of thigh cream.
But you're wrong, mate.
I don't.
Hey, there's
That's the
crazy
mystery
stuff on
beverage.
TikTok.
Yeah, it's a good chaser for
It's
whatever she is drinking.
Right. Be sure to chase your battery acid with some thigh cream. Might help it go down easier. All right. So, we'll fade out the Cartesian music, and let's go ahead and jump into session 6 of Buried Time, Takat, City of Serpents. So, you all awake in the morning at the entrance of the Temple of the Fang. Your journey has only lasted several days, but it has already been an arduous and complicated one. You escaped the city with a leap of faith. You got to know each other a bit throughout several nights of camping in the wilderness, keeping lookout. You've been visited 3 times by a mysterious, perhaps magical, cat-like being that has offered 3 gifts. The first 2 of which have proved useful in a time of need now, and the third one of which perhaps will as well. You stepped in between a conflict between a tribe of Tlinkali, known as the Kelkos, and a colony of Thrykreen, known as the Keenthra. You spoke to the Thrykreen sage, no one, to gather necessary information. You managed to ride a purple worm like a tempestuous steed through the underground. An act that exhausted all of you greatly, but thankfully you were able to sleep it off tonight without much conflict. Nothing bothered Elias's alarms. Nothing caught your eye during watches. You're all safe in a way that has already begun to feel a bit novel. Truly nothing sounds, feels, or smells like it is out there, waiting for you to round the corner, waiting to catch you by surprise, like it has been in the open expanses of the desert these past few nights. You've even seen one of the 5 images that Ali Faz transferred to all of you, the visage of no one. giving you all a sense of mystic assurance that you were on the right path. And finally, that has led you here. And despite the city of Alifaz, Jamila, being far behind you now, somewhere where you can't aid it directly, even through Mosa's warnings and even through the troubles you have faced, the visages of Alifaz and the images he provided to you, the encouragement of Tog, the brown burrowing beetle that you met at the Thrycreen colony, the wisdom of no one, you feel that this is the right path. Finally, morning approaches, you all gather up your things, ready to go. You still have another day's worth of water with you, still have several days of food that was provided by the druids. Haven't really needed to worry about that yet. But now, you're truly entering a new threshold of the unknown. And your first challenge is to figure out how this mysterious Temple of the Fang, however it may end up serving you all in your quest, how exactly it is opened. You see a sealed slab of a metal door in front of you with this arcane blue-white bolt of static energy across it. It crackles and reverberates and loses shape ever so slightly, but it maintains a fairly solid seam right down the middle of the door as it does so. And you can also see this arcane, electric and thunderous energy throughout the stone. Other than that, the rest of this around you is simple cavern. You are somewhere in rock formations far beneath the sandy surface of the Cartesian expanse. You don't really know where exactly you would be if you emerged from the land, even if some of you, like Davuk, have a pretty good guess. It seems that all there is forward in front of you is this door, and whatever path awaits that perhaps leads even further down into whatever else the sands have buried for these past several hundred years. So, you're all awake, you're all long rested. All of you are back to 0 exhaustion levels because you were able to get that long rest. Riding on the great purple worm Magor will no longer affect you negatively. And I turn it over to all of you.
Well, yeah, so I think that the first thing that needs to happen here is, now that we've made it to this door in this rocky crevasse, I think that Callum will approach and start poking around, like sort of just like tracing the dagger across it, trying to find in that little crack, see if he can like get it open, or maybe look to see if there's maybe anything dangerous around first before he really goes too hard with the poking and prodding.
Okay. Appreciate that you said that.
Yeah.
So, as you approach the door, Callum, the almost like the heat from an oven that you can feel when you open the door. You get closer, and there is energy that you can physically feel against the surface of your skin. It makes a little bit of hair stand up on the back of your neck. This lightning energy is active. And as you go to bring your dagger a little bit closer, you see a small arc that looks like it's reaching toward the dagger. Do you continue to press it towards the door?
Well, okay, Callum is going to think, and he's going to be like, okay, that seems dangerous. Let's maybe do this a little safer. Okay, so hand. I can do magic. Hand. He's going to set the dagger in the ground. He's going to like stab it into the dirt, and then he's going to like hand. Hand, as he's trying to cast mage hand to like pick the dagger up and move it towards it. finally,
let
when he
go.
goes for the third time, when he goes, hand, and he says it a little annoyed, the mage hand will grab the dagger, and that's part of the mage. What is it? Mage hand Ledgerman. Stow retrieve objects, use thieves' tool to pick lock, disarm traps. So yeah, the mage hand will kind of pick up the dagger and will just kind of float towards the door. We'll say this is Hasa. This is luck. That's the dagger he's using.
So, you sheathe fate and you bring luck thematically towards this electric door.
It's electric.
So, your arcane hand is incapable of feeling pain, but visually, you can tell this would hurt. As the blade touches the door, there's a current that it creates. The electric energy directly flows from the door, through the blade like a channel, and into the hand. The arcane hand, you can see, is kind of like shaking a little bit, despite your control.
Oh, buddy. All right, but it doesn't do anything aside from that.
No, it seems that the electric energy barring off the door is not dissuaded in any way by that.
Yeah, Callum will kind of look at it up and down. He'll recall the mage hand since it's, he'll be like, you get some time off, all right? I'm sorry for that. And dispel the mage hand. And look back towards everybody else and be like, well, I'm stumped. I've got no idea. All right, good talk.
Did you try using Mage Hand?
Yeah, I mean, I touched it with the dagger, but it hurt a lot for the hand. Not for me, but I felt bad for the hand, so I didn't want to, I didn't want to put them in that spot, because that just that felt kind of cruel,
Elias walks over. I'm perplexed at this door. I want to do something with lightning. Is this door? This door is like, it's locked and it just has like lightning coming off it. It's just.
It doesn't even necessarily appear locked. The lightning is obscuring your vision of the door's design slightly, but it seems like just like a solid slab at the current moment. Like there's no real mechanism or hole for a key or anything.
But there is like arcane energy sparking off of it. That's what that.
Yeah.
The lightning is.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Thank you.
What if we did like a lightning rod thing, where we took like a metal pole and we put it up against the door into the dirt and tried to funnel the energy out.
It's not a bad idea. I was gonna try to cast lightning into it, but I think that's a dumb idea, so I'm not gonna do that.
Out lightning the door, mate. Do it.
Well, I was thinking
Maybe
maybe
we'll
like
get
the
fed.
door door only opens with lightning magic, so I was like, if I do a lightning spell, it might, but I don't think that's correct. I think
I don't
that's
know.
dumb.
Try it, as long as you don't have to touch it.
Well, it's also a third level spell I'm gonna be using, which
Maybe not.
we're gonna want those.
Maybe not on our second foray of, does this work?
Yeah.
If that doesn't
Okay.
work, I might have something to try. So
But that's also.
While this is all going on, Harrow's just gonna like look around the door and just investigate it to see if there's any, like, if dust has been moved away, if there's like pressure points on the sides of the doors or around it, or some kind of, because if there's no key to this, then there might be symbols or something we can hit to trigger it.
Right. Okay then. Go ahead and investigate for that.
Harrow kicks up dust and it just goes up into his eyes.
Yeah. So you're looking, and the door is so remarkably smooth that you kind of lean in a little bit to see more impressions, see if there's anything you can catch with a very close examination. And as you lean in, just like Callum, a couple of hairs start standing up, and you go, okay, and just back up instinctually. You were not able to gain any particular insight.
Okay, so we are not able to. Well, we can't see the features of the door because of the like magic surrounding it.
No one's been able to yet,
Okay.
at least. But it does seem fairly featureless. It seems like pretty much just a solid slab with the spark on it.
Okay, I have an idea, and this is dumb. But so I do want to cast. I realize I have arcane recovery, so I could get this spell back if take a little short rest at some point. I do want to cast lightning bolt.
Okay.
However, there's a caveat. I don't want to actually cast lightning bolt into the thing. Remember in Avatar: The Last Airbender when they kind of redirect the lightning bolt?
Okay.
I want to cast lightning bolt, but that is me trying to redirect whatever lightning bolt's going to come out of this. So Elias is going to walk up to the door.
This is very stupid, and I should not do this, but I think this might work.
And he's going to just place his hand mid-cast of lightning bolt on the door.
Okay.
Just for added protection, Harrow's gonna go right up and touch Elias and cast a good old spell by the name of Protection from Energy and
Yes.
choose Lightning.
I was looking if I had that spell.
Just gonna go right ahead and cast that on.
Thank you.
Yeah. Then looking at Callum's sheet, Callum's gonna walk up to Elias and pat him on the shoulder and say,
He's like,
"It was nice
midway.
knowing you," and not cast anything and walk away.
He's like midway to touching the door.
I felt it. I
You
felt the
too.
magic. He just cast magic on you, Elias.
I felt it too.
Touch
Maybe
the door.
he's a bot. Harrow will walk away.
What the hell did I? This shit's so weird.
Ah!
All right. So, touching the door.
Touching the door.
Elias,
Yep.
roll an Arcana check.
Okay. $24.
Sick.
Pretty hefty.
All right.
It's not bad.
With a 24, you feel that arc forming, feel the hair standing. Does Elias have hair left?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel the hair standing, Mark said confidently. And you, right at the exact moment that you sense the wave of arcane energy cresting over and beginning to channel, you quickly cast, and you are able to, with a fluid motion, almost pull it out with sort of a weaving motion and shoot it off into a spot in the ceiling far away. Some dust shoots, a couple of large rocks crumble and just kind of thud dully into the sand. And you have managed to take the arcane lightning off of the door while only sustaining minimal damage. Comes out to a 5. And then with the protection, is that reduced then? Is it like half?
It's resistance, yeah.
All right.
So it's out.
So you took 3 lightning damage, Elias.
Elias, he does it. He shut his eyes when he did it. He was like, this is reminding me of one of my experiments I did that didn't go well. And he shoots it off. He's like,
Did it work?
To continue the trend, Auntie will also go over put a hand on Elias's shoulder to give lay on hands just for those 3 extra points. It seemed to work.
So yeah,
Holy shit.
Elias, you kind of like shake your wrist a bit, and then Anzi just, and you're like,
Uh,
all right.
Thank you.
It was like cracking your knuckles. You're back.
I knew that was going to work. Very confident. Now what?
So, what you see before you now, electric and thunderous energy is still on that second layer of rock that you can see in the image. And you see some of it starting to sort of tread back to the door. But, in this moment, you do see that a very thin strip where the main arc of lightning was completely covering up, there is a spot for a key of sorts. It appears to be a symbol or amulet type key as opposed to a standard metallic key that you would have for a house or a chest. It's a somewhat jagged shape. It looks like some sort of metal or stone could fit into it. It's not very deep. It's only perhaps a shard about that size could fit in. But it's a somewhat specific shape.
Wait, didn't
You
we?
all have some time before the lightning starts to creep over the door yet again.
Didn't we get some adamantine stone thing
Yeah.
from the cat?
You did.
Does it match it?
So, whoever has it, pulling it out, it is a somewhat rounded shape, almost refined like a pearl, and it is too large to fit in.
Is that like a keyhole?
I believe so. And also, we do not have a lot of time, so we better figure
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah, okay, sure. And Callum will get out his thieves' tools and he'll try and pick it.
Okay, so this is a not a lock with tumblers situation,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
you're level 8, and this is a magical world, so let's, shit happens. Let's go ahead and get a thieves' tool check in there and just see what we get.
Can I
Alright.
also ask
Yeah.
that while he's doing that, Elias is gonna like search the area for, when people leave their keys at their house, they put it under a carpet,
Yeah.
So Elias is looking for that.
Okay. Perception if you're just looking generally, investigation if you're gonna check hiding spots.
Investigation. Well, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a sleight of hand check just because it's the same modifier as thieves' tools. It's proficiency and expertise, and dexterity. Might be looking at a point of luck here, me SpongeBob boy. Yep, we're gonna use a point of luck.
Okay.
20 could be good enough, but it's a magical door, so
Does it override if you use the point of luck there?
Yeah.
Sure.
SpongeBob people, you
Wait.
rolled worse.
All
It was
right.
at least average.
So.
Your
Callum,
point of
use
luck, your point of luck.
I don't know. Is that
whenever
allowed?
you make,
Can
you
just
can
be
choose to
unlucky?
spend
Wait.
1 point of luck after you roll the die,
No,
but
never
before the
mind.
outcome is determined, you choose which of the No, you choose which of the d20s to use.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool. All right.
yeah, I'll use the use the 10.
All right. So, Callum, then
Mhm.
Elias. Callum with that 20, you're sort of poking around, and you can sense a somewhat particular shape that needs to be achieved here. And with your 20, you are not able to pry the door open in any way, but what you are able to do is deduce pretty much the exact shape of the interior. You basically are able to visualize it through your precise motions with the prongs and calipers. And as Elias is looking around with a 26, you do find a spot of sand where it appears that there are a couple of red stones kind of sticking out. You scuff it a little bit, and you find what appears to be a pile of half a dozen small rocks, all different shapes that look roughly the right size for the keyhole. So you get those. Callum, you know what shape fits in there.
Uh-huh.
As
There's a bunch of
you
rocks.
kind of come back, you can all see that the electric energy is getting closer and closer. There might only be a matter of seconds before this whole process needs to start over, but you're both there ready.
Here, Callum, take one of these. I found a bunch of rocks.
What am I supposed to do with it? Wow,
This
that
is
one
the-
looks a lot like what the key should look like. Well, let's try it. Bonk.
All right. So Callum, you smartly figure out which one.
Italicized question mark.
Smartly figure out which one goes in, and and the electric energy kind of, and it stops, and it clears on that second layer as well. And you see the door, the seam where the lightning used to be, the door just sort of, and it, in an instant, in a way that physically defies logic and sense, there is a seam that just appears in the middle of this slab of metal as the stone is inserted. And the stone shoots out like a shotgun shell and just lands somewhere in the dirt. And the door, where that seam was created, it creaks open slowly. And now there is a nice 5-foot wide entrance where all of you can enter single file.
I feel Anzi should go first.
I am also going to take that rock with me.
Okay. All right. So you pocket the Temple of the Fang entrance key rock. Call it whatever you want in your inventory. That's kind of a mouthful. All right. Anzi goes in first.
And she'll also pop a divine sense. Probably.
Cool.
Good thing to do.
Yeah. Also, is Barum currently summoned?
Yes. I
Okay.
remember she summoned him the previous night, I believe.
I believe you're right. I believe when Sandcat was leaving, he went,
Yeah.
So,
very insightful.
all right. Anzi, Barum, heading in. Who would be in the middle?
Harrow.
Yeah, I think Devuk will be last.
Okay.
Elias is walking next to Harrow.
Cool. All right. So Anzi, Barum on one end, Devuk and the Swarm on the other, and the three is in the middle.
Just to reiterate, because it has been a month, Elias has comprehend languages already cast on him as his ritual in the morning, and he also has mage armor on.
Cool. And that does apply to text, correct?
Yes,
With comprehend,
comprehend
yeah.
languages. Yeah.
You have to
Literal
touch
meaning
her.
of any spoken language, and written language I can see,
Cool.
and I have to be touching the surface. Yep.
All right. Cool.
Oh, so it's like on the ceiling, and you can't touch it, you can't read it.
And
That's
we'll, like,
interesting.
That's kind of fun.
everyone get on
I-
each other's shoulders.
It makes me visualize you like magically like wiping your hand over it, and it like appears in common
Yeah.
or something.
I
Which
can't
is cool.
understand magical glyphs. Just putting that.
I'll keep that in mind for all the glyphs in here.
Okay, cool.
It's
Damn.
like 80 glyphs. Damn, that was the whole puzzle. Shit.
Damn it.
All right, so
Down.
you all begin your descent down. And as you are approaching, you sense, ooh, good timing music. You sense that seam begins to crease over, and the slabs slowly scraping against the sand start turning shut again. Devuk, you have to rush a little bit to make sure you get in time, and it's sealed again. And you all hear on the other end a tube-like charging sound as the static reappears. So, hopefully, eventually, there's a way out. You all continue to proceed forward. So, for a while, it is just a very dim path where some of you are having trouble seeing. White and narrow as well. There are points where the taller amongst you, particularly Davuk, need to crouch in order to make their way through. Barham's kind of ducking and weaving as well. There are some crumbling rocks, some settling sand. And eventually you reach a sort of open chamber. The air, there's an immediate scent that hits all of you in your weary state of travel. You can sense moisture in the air here, something that you weren't able to sense on the surface. You can sense that there's a fairly large open space in front of you as well. And before any of you think to perhaps create light on your own with spells or torches, pick a direction to travel, there is suddenly, in the distance, a small glint of light. And then another, and another, as a variety of these somehow still active and burning candles begin to light in the area in front of you. They begin to illuminate ruins. It seems that you are not in the interior of a building so much as you have entered a sealed off expanse. There are multiple buildings and structures, and you find yourselves on a path that feels almost like a city street that has been lost to time. I'll bring you all to the Temple of the Fang interior. You see, in front of you, some distance away, there's sort of this main chamber here. And you see a path of stairs leading up on the left. And you see a warm, glowing path forward on the right. Around you as well, there's other information. There is things that do seem to be written in some sort of ancient language. If, Elias, you would like to inspect those. There are columns that look like they're from old buildings. There are locations that could be investigated to figure out what purpose they may have served in times past. But needless to say, the Temple of the Fang might not be this entire domain. It may simply be a location somewhere in this area. So, what would we like to do?
Elias is. Oh, sorry.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I was going to ask if there's like the staircase going up. Is there like a I don't know how to say it, like a vantage point, or just like a high, like something that seems to give a more higher view? David would want to go there.
Other than that staircase, things are all pretty low to the ground where you are. It would be hard without actually trying to climb rock to start to see upward and see what might be up there before you approach that path. But if Davuk or somebody else would like to try that, to climb or fly or something like that, you could. Because the ceiling is fairly high in here.
I mean, if it's like the image, it seems like there might be something to see. I think Divik would try to get a little bit higher.
Okay. Would you like to climb or use your swarm or what?
I'll just use my swarm.
Cool. Alright. So Davuk, you lay down in your bug mattress, as they all slowly start to lift you up as the others are investigating. You're slow walking, kind of taking all of this in awe. Davuk, up there, it seems that there is some sort of pool where there is some water, and it seems like there is some sort of chamber that is currently unlit, where it seems like some more water is sort of flowing into, and you can hear kind of a large rush, almost like a rapid river or something through that door. But it doesn't appear that there's any traps or danger or anything up there, at least from your distant glance.
And is this looking out? Is this pool of water? Is this like high up, or is this like further out? Like I don't know if I can like ping in this,
Yeah, go
like in
ahead.
that direction.
No, the pool of water is like
Up here.
upon the rocks up
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Right. Cool. I guess also, is there does the staircase go straight up to that point then?
Pretty much, yeah. There's not much deviation. It just kind of goes up to that plateaued area.
All right. Well, I know everyone else is investigating, but Davik would convey that and would be interested going up there. But we can see what everyone else is investigating first.
Okay, cool.
Elias is gonna go over to one of the written words and just kind of touch it.
Okay. So the first thing you approach is the most obvious and large. There is a collapsed column where it seems only a small engraved placard remains of what used to be part of a much larger structure. You kind of run your hand over it. It's a language that doesn't look too different from Undercommon. It's perhaps just an older dialect mixed with some other languages of the area. But with Comprehend Languages active, you're easily able to read it. This is simply a placard that says, Takat, City of Serpents, established 776 after Calamity.
Ooh. It is old, very, very old. Okay. Elias would relay that as he's kind of comprehending it. He would say it out loud. Everyone would hear that.
Just for reference, too, this campaign would be taking place vaguely around 1850 after Calamity. So, yeah, this is a little over 1,000 years old. Putting it right in the timeline of Katenapet's reign.
Harrow's going to be looking and listening for any animals or bugs or chittering things.
Okay.
Going to take
Go ahead
out
and-
small morsels of food and try to bait anything that may exist.
All right, you got it. So go ahead and roll perception as well, just to see if you can hear anything in the distance.
Forever rolling poorly. It's a 10.
All right, so with a 10, you don't readily hear any creatures. You place out some food. You do happen to see something, though, that doesn't entirely negate the presence of creatures down here, but is not a great sign. You see a small, only about a foot high area. It looks like a small cover under a rock that a small creature could use. And inside is dozens and dozens of old, dusty, crumbling bones of what it appears to be small reptilian creatures at some point. Snakes, lizards, that kind of thing. Anzi, I'm reading through Divine Sense here, just to make sure I don't miss anything. Miss any noxious odors of evil.
Well.
Alright, you know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you. Okay. Anzi. The main structure in front of you, as you are kind of walking around sensing, you do not feel the presence of any creatures, good or evil, aligned. No ringing bells, no noxious fumes. But you do sense a deeper feeling in your gut as you get towards that main structure. Whatever this main building is before all of you, it has been desecrated.
I mean, is there anything then notable that's be causing it, or if this is like, I guess, the proper temple part itself?
Not immediately able to tell something like that, but there is pictographs and ancient writing that does seem to be upon the door of this building as well. So that'll bring us back.
Last the time then. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll bring us back to Elias. You check the main pillar. Do you want to kind of poke around any small buildings and investigate stuff like that? Or do you want to go straight to the main structure? You thinking?
Yeah.
Elias?
Me? I want to go
Yes.
towards the freaking light.
Okay. All right.
But I don't know where everyone else wants to go. Is everyone else Is Elias leading the charge?
No, Anzi found a spot where there's more writing over here, where this area seems like it was desecrated.
I didn't hear that part. Yes.
Yeah.
I will go over there and see what that is first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So around this time, everybody else can sort of reform. Harrow not sensing any living creatures, but seeing even more evidence of dead ones from long ago. Davuk, you descend, and everybody can approach this main area. So, with comprehend language, fairly easily, Elias, this is labeled very clearly Temple of the Fae. The main pictograph, on one side, there is a robed figure that has a serpent coiled around their arm, and on the other end, there is a large serpent that is coiled around a robed figure. Also on the door, there appears to be a circle, an indented circle, where two halves are missing. There's a clear divide and sort of a embossed shape on either end. It seems that there are two large and perhaps ornate pieces that fit into the walls of this temple. The door, rather.
So I can visualize better.
Sure.
Doors here?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have stairs that go up here, and then we can go this way.
Yes. So, yeah, locked door that requires two keys of sorts, and then, yeah.
And so,
Which
like,
seems-
Sorry, real quick on this point.
Sure.
With the other smaller structures, are they towards where that main light is, or is it still kind of out in this chamber area?
Mostly out in this chamber area, so they could be investigated or poked through before a path was picked.
For
But
doing that's probably a
most
good
of
idea.
them are so dilapidated and gone, and some of them are probably even further buried that without like very deliberate searching, it's hard to tell what much of them might have been, but that is an option available to people.
Two
I feel like once we know
halves.
it's safe, before we like go into areas, I feel like it's probably a good idea to go through the shit that's in the rubble, I guess. Make sure it isn't anything important.
Yeah. I'm also seeing that there are two halves missing of something. And there are two paths.
Yeah, not to be a gamer or anything, but I don't think that's a coincidence.
Split
There's
the
like
party.
there's two paths. Yeah, let's do it.
You keep drawing.
Okay. Split.
Yeah, split
the
the party.
Oh, yeah. Good move. Yes.
And it's like with Barham, there's
Do
6
it.
of us. It's just like 3 at each. Let's go.
Yeah.
And Barham is as combat capable as any one of the other party members.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah,
downside.
yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't say there was. I said that he's as combat capable as the rest of us.
Okay. Between the Swarm and Barham, I feel like they could make one combat force, you know?
Send them on a different path.
The 5 of us will go one way, and we'll send the Swarm and Barham the other way.
I think it works.
They'll never expect it.
Yeah, Elias is gonna
Honestly.
look around, but also I feel like Elias is smart enough to see what's going on, so he's ready to split the party.
Okay, cool. All right. So,
Wait, are we
Are
actually
we-
gonna split the party?
Yeah, dude, let's do it.
Seriously, we are.
Let's fucking do it.
Parties are meant to be split.
Send the two people who have polymorph in different directions. We'll be fine.
I want it to be known I don't agree with this ideology.
Harold will take the stairs, which I'm guessing with Devuk.
Hero and Devuk.
I feel like
Buddy, old
Mark
pals.
is slightly like.
no, I mean,
Please don't
Are we on a time crunch? Is there a reason to do it aside from
No,
wow,
but-
hey.
no,
Let's go.
Evan mentioned it, and I think it's a great idea. Let's do it.
Yeah.
2 birds, 1
I
stone.
only
Let's
got
go.
it.
Ship it.
listen, my only question is if we're still going to investigate the ruins here first, because I feel
Yes.
like that's the ship that just left the harbor.
No. Yeah, Elias currently right now is investigating
Okay,
with his
All
plus
right.
8.
Harrow will do the same
sweet.
Hell yeah.
Let's
and
do
cast
that first,
guidance
then.
on themselves, just in case I continue to roll poorly.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
All right, let's investigate
well-
the ruins here first.
Shit, I needed that guidance. Garbage roll for me.
All right.
I feel like Elias is just listening to everybody say that we're gonna.
Garbage rolls
Well,
all around.
We
let's go.
tried, Harrow. We tried. You're muted.
I know, I mute myself because my rolls are so poor. I don't deserve it.
All right. So. Okay. As you are kind of poking around, with these rolls, you are able to find a couple of things, but nothing particularly juicy. You are
Hmm.
able to find old
juice.
artifacts that perhaps would be very valuable to a merchant or a collector of some sort. But to your current exploits don't mean much. You find a very old pot, like a clay pot. It is chipped in the corner, very brittle, color is faded out, and there are some crudely and unevenly carved snake patterns that kind of go around the bowl. You also find what appears to be a wooden spoon used for cooking. That's literally as complicated as that is. And you find a few pieces of decoration or jewelry, it seems. They are mostly made of sort of a small thread that looks like it's been braided together with some polished, rounded off stones, and they make bracelets and necklaces and such. But nothing magical, nothing that indicates towards super specific uses or buildings or value or anything like that. But you can tell with your combined efforts that there was, at one point, a lot of people here. At least enough for there to be a society. There was practices, artisan crafts. Perhaps there were guilds around here. There were people really living lives in this area. As far as structures go, some of them still have the very basics of a floor intact. Some of them, your feet sink a few inches into nothing but sand. All of them have an interesting pattern on the tiles that is somewhat uncommon to what any of you would be used to. There's sort of these multicolored diamond patterns that are tiled out on the stone floor. But other than that, not too much of note either. Lots of collapsed pillars, worn off things where it looks like there used to be structures or perhaps inscriptions that are now gone. So, now I will ask, are we splitting the party?
Feel like we should flip a coin.
Seems like a brilliant way to decide it.
I feel like I just disagree, but that's okay. We can flip a coin.
It's like the worst thing we could do, but you know.
I think we are a party that can safely split. My opinion.
Evan, answer me this. Answer me this. Why?
Okay.
Do you want to? Give me one good reason, like one good, logistically understandable reason, and I'll side with you.
Okay.
We save
great.
time.
There's not a time crunch. But there's no time crunch.
Split the party has never led to anything bad. Don't worry about it.
Literally every minute that we spend here, Moza is up to more mischief. Like
There's time.
being efficient and getting through this, or else he's going to keep looking through Elias's study, and that doesn't.
Okay, we gotta split the party now. Like, the spit is in my study.
3 votes for split.
Counter
I don't know where you are,
argument.
Eric,
Counter argument, just to see if I can change
I've already
anybody's
said
mind.
I'm down to split.
Okay, that's
All right.
4 against 1.
Never mind. No counter argument needed.
And also, Callum and David didn't really formally have a conversation yet, so David will just disagree with you.
Yeah, this is a perfect opportunity for you guys to go by yourself and talk while you're being killed by snakes.
I'm sure that nothing bad will happen.
I'm just kidding.
No, exactly. It'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm getting some Salamander Coast vibes when we split the party to go to in Periton.
And everything worked out. No one died. It was fine.
Well, Joe almost died in real life. I know that.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's do it. Let's split up. Oh, whoa.
All right. So, as you all make that decision, you start walking away from the main chamber and start looking at the 2 paths. And anybody with a passive perception 12 or above, you hear a scraping of rocks at a far corner near the shadows of the cavern. You all instinctually whip around and look, and there is a humanoid figure standing there, alone. Seems to have some form of weaponry in their hand. And you hear just tell me who you are, this can go smoothly.
Oh, hello, chap. Good time seeing you. We are a bit of adventurers here, and are on a bit of a quest. And obviously not a bunch of tourists that fall into these old ruins. We actually rode a worm here, which was really cool. Anyway, we don't mean you no harm.
Of
And
course.
while Hero says this, Devuk is just standing behind him and just staring. Just a huge bugbear behind him.
We mean no harm, just
We mean no harm.
but you just hear there's a pause and you hear the figure go, of course. No wonder you were seeking out the Thrycreen. And he steps forward from the shadow and lowers a strange mechanical weapon from his grip and racks it back in his belt as about 50 feet away from all of you, you see the familiar face of the scholar at the Oasis, the dwarven
What?
Archric Jade.
Hell yeah.
Wait a second. That's the guy from the Oasis.
Oh my goodness!
Yes.
Did he maybe lie to us to protect something? Oh my
Wait a
goodness! Well,
second.
Devuk, we need to do something about that. Isn't that right?
Hold on, let's just settle down. You don't have to do anything. How did you get here? Other than walking.
Your friends are right.
Also,
It's not that I. Yeah, go.
do you own a cat? We saw him quite a few times.
No.
Ah, damn. Well,
Never
I'm gonna
talked
keep
long
striking
enough.
that out.
I've met a few nice ones, but I much prefer a dog.
Can't trust him.
Turn back to Elias. Kind of like
That's
shake his head. Your friend is right. I would like to be a little more generous with myself and say that I didn't lie, but perhaps there were a few things I was not forthright about. Now that I find you here, this is perhaps a blessing and a curse. A blessing because I was beginning to feel a bit in over my head, but a curse because I feel that in order to maintain a peaceful relation, I must tell you my business. I am continuing the work of the scholar Veli Pembernil. Just not in the way that perhaps I made it seem.
Sir, remind me of that person's scholarly skills, but are you looking for, like, immortality?
No.
Oh, okay. Look, I'm striking out. I'm gonna stand behind the bugbear now.
Well, that wasn't too wrong. I am looking for what may just be a legend, an ancient medicine. I don't
What?
know. Yes.
Was that actually you at the Oasis?
Yes. Yes, you met me.
And you never returned to get help, did you?
The people that are with me doing official university business cannot know what I am doing here in private. Veli left steps. I have only been following them. You see, I don't know how much you know of his exploits, but in addition to studying the 5 species of great beetle and bringing that knowledge across the world, he also got very close to discovering something about the ancient history of this area, including the exploits of, well, this very empire that we now stand in the ruins of. It is believed in his writings that he got all the way here and spoke to someone, and that discussion prompted him to turn back. But He left things in place in case someone was ever ready to continue his search. I know I may seem unassuming, and frankly, that is one of the tools I use to remain safe. I have been preparing for this for quite some time. And with things getting more contentious, with the Zayalka Trading Company and their owner, Moza Shadid, I didn't know how much longer I may have to come and investigate these areas under the guise of one studying the great beetles.
So
I
this
came
is
back-
all for study.
Exactly. You see, the people of Katenapet, though they lost their way, it is believed that one of them developed quite a magical medicinal remedy. Something that could, well, in some ways extend life, but in other ways remove ailment, curses, disease, poisons, and grant some form of immunity. If this substance is real and as powerful as documented, it would be of great interest to the university. And, to be frank, would cement my tenure.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We are also looking for what you are. We have different intentions.
I gathered. And as prepared as I may feel, and as many gadgets as I may have at my disposal from the new world, as it were, I am not ready to have a conflict with all of you.
No, you are not. And we do not want that either. Maybe we can help one another.
Yes, we are looking to split the party. You would make it even on each side.
You would?
Okay. Well, I can tell you what I've figured out so far. Okay, well, I can skip the first part. Obviously, you figured out the door. The second thing is the second door. You see right in front of us here, I believe the two symbols that must be acquired are that of fire and water. I am told as there was some form of elemental interest in this ancient city. Takat, it was once called. I suppose it still is, though the population is 1. The door to get into this sealed-off chamber, which I believe was sealed on purpose after the city's collapse, involved earth and sky. So I believe it is fire and water, the other half of their elemental system of worship here, that will be involved to open this. According to Veli's notes, there will be trials of sorts on either of the paths we see. When he last visited, and it seems still today, all other routes were sealed off with collapsed stone. Places where there used to be other things, pottery, food, baking hearths, smithing locations, markets, public quarters, residence housing, military stations, lodges for the religious, mostly destroyed. A mysterious force preserved the temple. Perhaps that collaborates with what you happen to have learned from the Thrycreen.
I don't believe we learned that much. Does your Veli talk about how intense these trials are?
Well, he was able to do them on his lonesome. And he was, I suppose, what you would call a face, not a fighter.
Oh, so I guess we can split the party.
I leave that kind of decision up to you. I'm not one to judge. I was planning on doing this alone.
Well, I don't believe I speak for everyone. These are my opinions. We need that cure that is somewhere in here. And I understand you want to research it and figure out how it is made and what it is. We need the actual cure. You need to study it. I think that we can help one another to get to it. But ultimately, we need to bring it back with us. And you are more than welcome to come with us and study it there.
The conflict that presents is with reproduction. If you administer the cure to your beetle Alifaz, there'd be little to no chance of me figuring out how that cure works with my other researchers back in Thorol and perhaps recreating this. If it were recreated, though it may be recreated too late to save Alifaz, it could save many beetles. Perhaps many people. Many great creatures throughout the world. It's hard to say until we're there, but I think it's only fair to make clear that my motivations are just as noble.
I think we have time to figure this out. We are currently standing in ancient place, figuring out how to even get it.
It's very
So who's going with who?
well, if it helps you make any decision, I am not a frontliner, but I do have more up my sleeve than perhaps you may assume. And he will pull out the weapon at his side again, and to kind of narrate through this very quickly, and put it in language that y'all can understand. Tartric Jade is a hill dwarf. His background is sage. His class is artificer. His subclass is artillerist, and he is level 5. So he is significantly weaker than everybody here, but level 5. He's far from a common. I have the sheet here, so I'll be minding the business of running him and everything, but he has an arcane firearm that he can shoot cantrips and spells through that adds to the damage. He can also use it mechanically just to shoot bullets if he needs to do that in a pinch. He's got mostly support spells and defensive stuff like shield, cure wounds, detect magic, disguise self, invisibility, lesser restoration, and aid. He has a couple offensive things. He has Thunder Wave, Scorching Ray, and Shatter, in addition to the Firebolt cantrip, which will be the main cantrip he uses through his gun. He also has a couple of artifacts, but I will save those for when they are relevant.
Well, he's got cure wounds. That's good.
Yeah, and again, him being level 5, spell slots are pretty limited. His HP is not particularly great either, and his charisma is low. He has an 8 in that. He's looking at 8 charisma as his lowest and 17 intelligence as his highest. So,
Who here can heal?
I think we got.
I can kind of heal.
Yeah, I think we got a kinda with
Okay.
Davook, and then more of a yes with Anzi and Harrow. So he's kind of an extra kinda more than
So
anything.
what are the teams? He's a spellcaster.
If it
Harrow.
makes it easier, we could all just run together.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really need to split up beyond just the meme of it.
It seems that
Oh,
a
wait
trend
a second.
changed.
No, I think we got guys. I think we gotta split up. You know, it's.
Well,
Joe,
I
why are
just
you saying
don't-
we have to split up? We're all agreed that we should.
You know what? I think we should stick together.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
we
it
should
doesn't
stick
look
together.
dire. I think we should
Yeah,
get
come
a
on,
our
Joe.
table.
No, I mean, if that's what you guys want to do, I'm cool with it. I just think that splitting up is the best idea. But if that's what you guys
Yeah.
want to do, go for it.
Wow.
Well, give us a
I will.
solid reason why we should split up.
Honestly, hard pressed to think of one. You know what?
Yep.
This was just a fun way for me to get what I wanted all along. Reverse psychology.
All right, stairs or sky or earth?
Stairs.
All right,
That's my vote.
All right.
Let's ascend.
stairs.
We will be approaching stairs.
If it's dark, dancing lights.
All right. Everybody give me just 1 second. All right. Sweet. So we will go ahead and approach the stairs. Trek now somewhat readily accepted into the bunch,
Well,
and after much deliberation, deciding that we should not split the party, despite that being both Callum's wish and not wish. All right. So let's get going here. So the stairs lead toward water. As you climb up them, it is quite the go. They are a little bit unstable. There are parts where the leader of the group temporarily loses footing and has to lean against the wall and warns everybody else. But you are able to ascend them. They're made quite solidly, and despite the cracks and impressions that have started to form in them over these centuries, they've been here. You make your way to the top. There is that pool of water that is flowing slightly, and eventually you find yourselves before a somewhat bigger chamber. So I will pull all of you now to the Temple of the Fang water room. So-
yeah, water level.
You see before you a lot of mechanisms. There's channels of water, large gears, turning towers connected to pipes, pools that are empty where it looks like water occasionally rests when it is filled. There is this main chamber here, this hut that looks sealed off, and right now it is blocked by a strongly gushing flow of water that is happening before it, almost like a cascading waterfall that feeds into the ground and back upward. It is hard to tell upon first glance if the way that the water is working in this ancient city is magical, or if it is incredible acts of carpentry and craftsmanship that have been lost to time. Either way, the water kind of continually flows into itself and blocks the door. None of the three gears right now are moving, but it seems that they are buried in time. Fuck, you're right, Evan. Technology buried in time. Shit! God! And you're like literally underground. Oh, I fucked it all up. All right.
He said the thing.
Credits. So that was the plot all along. Oh shit, water, man. Why are we looking for this ancient cure? These guys had water figured out. But these very large gears do seem to be attached to these channels in some way. And it seems like the water is kind of flowing all throughout the space, but it is all feeding back into that central waterfall right now, preventing any sort of entry. And as far as the room itself, the stone is very, very smooth and currently slick with water, like the walls of a river cavern. And there are some symbols on it that look like they are on this in the same language that you saw before, Elias. So if you would like to approach walls and touch that and investigate, you certainly can.
Yeah, sure. I'll do that.
Okay. So, what you see on one wall is an inscription that is seems to be a phrase broken off by a symbol and then repeated. And without needing to translate, you look across the room and you can see that it's the same text. It appears to be a repeated adage or religious saying that is all over this chamber. And the phrase, which I will go ahead and type out here in a second, simply says, "May faith and government merge. May the water of her beauty flow. May the Tenepet line rule." Over and over again.
Now, does it look like there's any levers or platforms or pressure plates in the room?
Go ahead and roll investigation. Roll of the week.
You got it. I believe. Let's go.
I'm gonna use my guidance on that as well and
Okay,
just
cool.
roll.
All right, I already got a 17 though. That's pretty good. Sweet.
Okay, 18.
All right. So with that, you are able to look around and notice that first off, as far as mechanisms go, there are no pressure plates necessarily in the area, but these two towers here, left and right in front of all of you, it does seem that there is locks holding them in place, and you can see sort of a base and then a central piece on top. It seems that when the locks are unlatched, that these towers can move in some way, perhaps be spun around. You do also see center of this lock. It appears that, well, let me start over. Center of this lock and the center of these two locks up here as well. There is sort of a rusted chain that is over all three of them. Some of them look like they're completely still. The one on the floor looks completely still. But the other two look like the chain is actually keeping them in place. There's a lot of tension. And they would turn if that chain was not binding it.
It looks like we have 3 chains, 1 in the center and 2 in the back and the large. There's a bit of tension back there, it seems. If we destroy them, I think we'll get things moving. And then we can remove the locks from either one of these twisty turntables here.
Just real quick though, are the chains like there as they're part of the mechanism, or they're part of like keeping it locked?
Looks like part of keeping it locked, but it does not appear secondary. it looks like you can actually see channels in the gears, the cogs themselves, where the chain is meant to fit. So it's not like somebody just tied them up after the fact. This was at some point part of the design of these things.
We'll be fucking it up then by breaking it. I mean, I guess if it's just a safeguard thing.
Only one way to find out. They don't got heat metal.
I mean, that would do
You could just brute
damage.
force it. How thick are these chains? They're already rusted, right? So
They are rusted, so that would be on your side if you do want to go the break route. They're fairly thick though. They're definitely like, I don't know how to describe chain thickness. They're heavy and they would thwack if you did that with them.
Yeah, that's a thick chain.
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
diameter or something.
No,
would-
no, they thwack.
They thwack.
Okay. They
They're
thwack.
thwack
Okay.
size. Okay, they're thwack.
Yeah. Is there a way? Does it look like there's a way to just take the chain out
Go ahead and
without breaking it?
go ahead and investigate, Elias. See if
Alright,
there's
let's investigate. Come on, Elias.
some sort of knot or removal procedure.
Alright, fuck you, Elias.
It seems like there is a way, but with a 15, you find yourself coming up against a wall. You feel like the gear is just not quite in the right place, and you need to move it to get this part that's wrapped underneath off. But then if you can't move it while the chain is on, and you're kind of stumped. So with a 15, you think there is a way, but you also must admit it would be easier to break them. That would just mean that you can't. I will say with a 15, you're confident that breaking the chain would not permanently ruin the gear. It would just keep it from ever being stopped again. So you just need to evaluate if that's an issue to you.
There's
I
always
mean,
shit
I
stop
know that
gears.
that Elias is just did one, but I will say with if Elias would have been like talking through that thought process, I think Callan would have been like, "Wait a minute, so it's like one big lock, like for a door," and can Callum look at it with his knowledge of picking locks?
Doors.
You want to roll investigation?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay.
I just try not to ever say, "Can I make an insight or can I make an investigation check?" I always
Right.
just ask a question
No, I get you. I
So
get you.
proper.
and let you interpret. Yeah, because I don't want to be annoying. All right. Chonk chonk. I'll use a point of luck. Smoke them if you got them. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's better, but
Wow.
bigger baby, bigger
that
baby
one-
one.
You solved the puzzle with that point. So, Callum,
Yeah.
unfortunately, you're not able to gather
Mm.
a full solution with a similar number to Elias. But you do kind of see them as lock mechanisms. You do think that if they were just sort of braided in the right positions, that perhaps the chain could come off. I will say, though, as you're investigating, you do kind of just follow the chain and you follow some of the cabling going along the floor, and you see the locks that are on these two towers here. You're fairly confident that you could do something about those without causing damage, the locks that are over there.
Okay. Yeah, and Callum would point that out. So I think the ones that are closest to us, we could maybe do something with, but also at the end of the day, I think we just gotta twist the chains a certain way. But also, I don't know if anybody cares that much to do it proper. I mean, if we just want to break them, I guess we can.
Well, if there is a way to do it without breaking things, I mean, this is a historic, very ancient place.
That's true.
But I am not the person to be removing chains. I'm very weak.
As am I. I will say, I prefer whatever path brings us forward in our endeavor. But I do believe if Veli was able to do it and get them back in place when he left, that there is a way.
Yeah. Well, then I'll take a closer look, I guess. And Callum will, I suppose, move just a little bit more forward, to investigate this pillar over here a little bit more closely.
Okay. Cool. Roll investigation yet again.
All right.
I hope that's everyone's favorite skill.
Bro, what
It's
the
one of
fuck?
my best.
It's one less than the first one.
Got him.
All right. Luckily,
Point of
luckily,
luck.
you
No,
don't
I
want
don't
to watch,
want-
but you
I don't wanna
really.
No. I want to
All
save
right.
that.
Fortunately, Callum,
Mhm.
the situation over here is a little bit simpler.
Okay.
You do see sort of an entry point where a key would fit.
Okay.
So you can either prompt the group to that and try to find some sort of key, but you're fairly confident this is a situation where, without a time clock or anything, you might just be able to pick it open. It's not a very complicated mechanism.
He kind of looks at it, and he'll start picking at it without saying anything to anybody.
All right, thieves' tools. Dice,
Sleight.
dice, dice, dice,
Sleet
dice,
of hand.
dice.
There you go. That's a 12, dude. 22
All
total.
right, 22. So you all see and hear Callum go, and within about 20 seconds, you hear a metallic clang, and it just sort of comes off. And nothing happens immediately, but the binding between the base plate and the center column is now removed and falls to the floor.
All right. I mean, something's better than nothing, right?
Good job.
Is the
Thank
thing
you.
able to like move now?
Would Anzi like to try?
Yes.
Okay. 47 frost at no. So as you
Holy shit.
Do it, you coward, you won't.
but yeah, as you touch the column, you can feel sort of like almost like a bicycle wheel. It goes forward and then pushes back a little bit. So it's definitely movable, and it seems that there's some sort of barrel or axle mechanism actually in the center of this. So with a fair amount of force, Anzi, if you just sort of shoulder check the column, you can actually kind of shove it and get it to turn left or right. It seems to turn freely either way. And as you move it slightly to the right, as you're just kind of seeing how it works, the center gear does sort of one click as you move it.
Does it seem to affect anything else beyond just the gear, or?
Well, it seems that a particular spot on the right-hand side of the cog where the chain is binding it locked, it does seem like it got a little looser.
Okay. Is it able to still keep moving in that way, or is that as much as it can go?
Yeah, you can move it about 2 more clicks if you just keep pushing, and then the tower itself can keep going, but from that point on, the gear seems stuck by the chain. But you're able to get it 2 more clicks, and there is now a spot where the chain is wrapped up that, Elias, you now see was one of the spots that was tripping you up. It's now much more accessible. And you might be able, with some force and prying, be able to kind of reach around and unbind that section from the channels within the cog.
In the center one?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Where's the tower currently?
That right there, and it's just been like turned clockwise.
Oh, it hasn't moved on the channel yet.
It hasn't moved. Yeah, the tower itself got turned like
Okay.
clockwise 3 clicks, but it's in place.
All right, yeah, Elias. I mean, if he sees that the chain is able to move now, he's gonna move it.
Okay. No roll necessary. You sit there and you fuss for a sec. Because sometimes even level 8 D&D characters just have to fuss a bit. And eventually this chain just kind of, and you get it. There was a spot, it seemed a little bit stuck, because it's been here for a long time. But you get it, it's out of the groove. Alright, now you just see one other spot on the left where that needs to happen. And assuming we maintain the same procedure, there's really no need for rolls at that point. Unless anybody has anything else they want to bring up. Callum can pick that lock again. Anzi can move that tower again. Anzi can fuss with the chain again. And then eventually, this central cog will now be free. You're able to kind of get the chain and toss it to the side all of the length. And the cog is now free to move as you please, using just the left tower to move sort of the central components, like right here, and using the right tower to move the bigger spoke here. So yeah, that is free.
Those are two different mechanisms.
Yeah, they actually are able to move a little bit independently of one another now that you have everything pulled apart.
So which one moves the center?
Just fucking around, yeah.
Which one moves the center one?
Left.
Big old C. And then an O for outside. Boom.
Oh. Alright. So, you've definitely done something. But the door is still the way it is. But you got this big center gear free now, and it is moving. So
what happens if we push this way?
Like, try to push the whole tower, you're saying?
Yep.
The base does seem to be holding it in that spot.
Okay, so it can't move along this little track here?
No, it seems that moving it would actually break whatever mechanism is running throughout the gear in the two towers.
But we can move them circular.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, these channels, you're not quite sure what any of them do yet, but they run all along the ground, and they're up here by these two gears by the main building as well.
Okay.
Could I guess while they're moving these mechanisms here, can Devuk be kind of walking around to kind of view if anything's happening as a result of this?
Sure. So Devuk, as you kind of just take in the whole chamber as they're troubleshooting, go ahead and roll perception for me.
All right. Seriously?
Everybody's rolling rough tonight.
My first roll.
The sound of the water blocking the door muffles out any sounds you might have heard, and you're unable to see anything particular occur because of the movement of the gears.
I mean,
I tried, everyone.
Hey, you did.
We should have split the party.
Things would be going so much better if we split the party.
This shit, you know.
I mean,
can we just move like the pillars to like, I guess their extremes, just to like try and get an idea of what that
what the
center gear
limits
is actually doing?
What the limits of the system are.
Nice. Yeah. Find
like when you try to work out
system.
sliders, you just have to like fuck them all the way just to see what's happening, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the exact vibe we're going for here.
I, as somebody who is learning the basics of bike building, yes. Fuck it up. And then you're like, there we go. Now we gotta fix it. So, yeah. You can go ahead and move the center and outer cog to their furthest limits. What it seems to do, not only are you turning the central gear, obviously, But I would like who has the highest passive perception? Actually, let me check my sheet.
I have an
Oh.
18.
Yeah, it's Harrow. So Harrow, you with the highest passive perception. As these hit their extremes, you would actually notice some stuff. So as the center cog here turns, very faintly through the veil of water, you see that there is something on the door itself that is turning as the center cog moves a little bit. But with the veil of water still there, you can't quite sense what that is. It appears that when you turn it all the way to its extreme, this thing is cranked almost all the way around, whatever it is.
Cool.
As you
And
move... Yep.
correct me if I'm wrong, these two still have the chains on them?
Yeah, those are unmoving currently.
Okay.
And then as the outer limit gets adjusted, this would be something a little easier for everybody to sense, but Harrow, you'd be able to see it first. These two spots where it looks like they can be filled with water, as you crank the outer limits, depending on which direction you go, one of them raises a little bit as the other one lowers a little bit in tandem, creating a situation where they can have less or more volume of water in them.
Oh, that's the thing where it just needs to be left at like an equilibrium, you know, like have them both like roughly the same level.
Yeah. Does the tension decrease on either one of those back gears the more water's in either one of those?
Well, currently there is no water in them. That's just space where water could be. It seems like all of the water in the system right now is flowing in front of the door.
Gotcha.
So the tension remains steady and even on the gears themselves.
Right. Harrow's gonna jump up and move to this one up here.
Okay. So you get there. These ones are a little bit more simple. It just looks like a wedge with a bit of binding around it has been stuck between the cog and a mechanism along the wall, where it looks like it normally is able to turn continually.
Harrow's going to attempt to remove it, but if he gets to a point where he's not strong enough, he's going to turn into something that will give him the strength.
All right, let's check it first with athletics. See what we get. Dice, 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 dice.
All right.
Woo!
All right,
A good
16.
roll.
You do sense that it can move without perhaps the use of a wild shape, but you perhaps are not the person to do it. It budges a little, but not enough to really make much progress.
All right. He's going to turn himself into a bear, and he's just going to then rip. He's just going to put his bag down and just watch it just flow in the water, and then just do a deep sigh, and just as he reaches his arm out, like fur and claws are going to just extend until his full body's a bear, and he's just going to pull at the thing in the middle.
Okay. As you're doing so, Barum watches you turn into a bear and goes, So, you, upon turning into a bear, are able to quite easily move this to the point where a check would not really be necessary.
Cool.
As soon as you get it, there's a loud thunk that all of you hear that reverberates. And within seconds, the flow of the water in front of the door begins to thin as the gear moves. And through these channels, almost like an irrigated stream, water flows. And it fills this pool over here. It fills it until it is at its maximum filledness. What's the word?
Yeah, I think that's the
Capacity.
word. think
think-
filledness is the word.
I think it's
Yeah,
capacity, but filthness is
Capacity.
nice.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Thank
No,
you,
you're
Fred.
right.
Illness.
But
I
so
think it's filledness.
it gets it to max capacity, filledness, and
I
it
feel like I'm
seems
dealing
to.
with new Smeek from 1984 to say
Yeah.
the word.
But it seems to get to max capacity and know when to stop somehow. The mechanism just keeps it there. But now, yeah, this right gear is turning. So,
Harrow's gonna communicate that in bear form with arms and then run over to the other one. Just this big wet bear. He's gonna plop in the puddles of the water, make huge splashes as he runs
Alright.
over.
cool. Easy enough. You remove it again. Large clunk. And now both of these gears
Lard.
are moving.
So much.
Lard clunk.
Just a bunch of
Thigh
lard.
cream.
Yeah, lard clunk mall cop. Gotcha.
So, my favorite movie. So yeah, both gears are moving. The water blocking this door completely dissipates now, and both of these pools are full at level. Now, you're able to clearly see that the symbol on the door that was moving when you turned the center cog was a level. And you see inside the level that the water itself is slightly off balance to the left, causing it to tilt in this current moment.
I'm gonna move the center one until it's
Bear
level.
Harrow will do like this.
It's...
Elias is like, I understand. And then he's gonna attempt to move it and then realize, oh fuck, I'm not strong. Davuk or Anzi?
Yeah, I can come and help.
Cool. So yeah, either of these strengthy people here, you can go ahead and shove it, and as you move the center cog to the right, it does, the bar itself balances to the center. Right now, the water level, it seems, is still a little bit under capacity on the door. But it seems like you're getting closer. So, bar is level. The level mechanism that has water in the center of the level bar is currently a little light on water.
Harrow's gonna scoop water into his bear mouth and spit it into it.
Okay,
What is? Oh, okay.
that's a
Into the
way of
level.
doing that.
Yeah,
So,
it's used way.
I mean, you could have turned the outer cog, but that works too. So you,
No, this one's like CFDs
No.
when you bucket into
Yeah.
somebody's ship.
so you go ahead and just, and eventually,
Yeah, I like
This is
that
the
one.
difference between wisdom and intelligence, my dude.
yep, yeah, you knew what to do. So, eventually, it is centered. And finally, all three gears are moving. Everything seems balanced. The water is out of the way, and the door slides open, making a rumbling sound as it does.
I feel like Elias is in the back, like writing notes into his book, like
Right, so we have to move the other one, and then it would be level, and then...
he looks up and
Oh, that works too.
Bear Harrow's gonna be clapping in the water. Just soaking wet.
As a fellow scholar, I encourage you to appreciate situations that don't involve the book.
Your opinion is noted.
How you fuck off? Did you ever think of that?
I like my book. Fuck off.
We'll inform management. Thank you for your feedback.
Oh, man. All right, so all of you now can approach the room as it is unblocked. So there is a podium in the center constructed of stone, also water run and smooth and dilapidated. But there is, quite simply, a simple stone-like half circle sitting atop of it that has a couple of symbols of etched waves of water in it. Additionally, in this room, there is carvings along the main wall of the chamber. They seem to depict several robed figures, some of them with snakes wrapped around arms, like the Temple of the Fang main entrance depicted, some of them with serpents worn around the neck, and some of them with large serpentine creatures that are by their side, almost like a guardian beast of sorts. And all of these figures stand around what appears to be a very young figure, a child in the center of this hieroglyphic image that you're all seeing. And the child is standing very plainly, arms to their side, as all of these religious-like figures seem to be surrounding them, proclaiming something. Some of them have arms up and their mouths open and speaking. Some of them are gesturing toward the child. Some of them gesture toward the sky. A couple of them even seem to be bowing on one knee to the child. But other than the semicircle for the door and that picture, that is all that is in this chamber. Any last business or questions before we leave the water room? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, then. Half complete. We're ready to go on to the second room. And I think right there would be a perfectly good time to take a brief break before we hop back into it and get into more trials and tribulations with Partrick.
Wonderbar. All
Awesome.
righty. Be right back.
Let's go.
Wait, oh fuck. I forgot I was on a thing. Hello, we're back. Woo! Go,
Woo!
Mark.
Yo, wontons! Alright, so, before we jump right back in, you know, remember at the beginning of the... Anyway, before we jump right back in, we do have mystery beverage, our very important tradition that we do here.
Mystery beverage.
Gemma, show everyone your mystery beverage again.
Oh, man.
My camera
All right.
needs like hands.
Here's
Sure.
my guess. Here's my official guess. Soda water with some rose petals in it.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm gonna
Correct.
save mine to the end because I think I know what it is.
I'm gonna
Okay.
let John go next.
Alright, so I'm gonna pass that off to Joe.
Okay, I will.
I'm gonna
I'll accept.
intercept that and pass it back to Joe.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to guess that it is a sparkling sesame seed soda. Sounds delightful.
Okay. Eric, go ahead.
Blended up kiwis. Just a bunch of small creatures just blended up.
Oh, the animal.
Not green though. What kind of kiwis do you
No, he's
have?
talking about the
No,
animal.
The creature, the one with the little, the little spout.
So,
Okay,
That's my
John.
first guess. That's just blended up in jam and licorice and water, like
this
salt
is
water.
so off.
And
It's-
isn't it great? Oh man,
Yes, exactly. What can I say? No.
it's great. In tears from every child that witnessed you blending the kiwi.
Jesus
All right, I'm all
Christ.
set.
John.
I'm gonna
I
pass
don't-
this off
I
to
don't
John
think-
now.
Oh, thank you. I'm grabbing it. So on TikTok, there are these people that like there's this liquid inside, and it's like a double liquid container. Like one has these floating things in a clear liquid, and the other is like a liquid inside, and they flip it upside down, and then they drink it, and then they flip it again, they drink the other half. I think those are chai seeds inside of fucking water, some water. I know it's chai seeds. I know it's chai seeds.
All right.
And if I'm
What we
wrong,
got?
I'm gonna die.
If you're wrong, you have to go back on cams.
So I will partially give it to John. They're chia seeds, not chai seeds.
Damn.
But the actual liquid itself is a red cordial, which is for this one raspberry and apple, which is basically like an Australian version of Kool-Aid. Basically, it flavors water because that's what water talk is about. That was the clue that I gave y'all, where Americans are discovering that there's more options than just Kool-Aid to flavoring water or something.
Yeah, but that's
I
not
don't know.
colored, and that's not what Kool-Aid looks like.
Exactly, and I found out what Kool-Aid looks like. I'm horrified for y'all. But it's basically just like fruit concentrate,
Okay.
not juice though. Different to juice. It's cordial with chia seed. How does it drink?
All right. That was a mystery of a beverage.
Yeah.
Till next week, folks. Till
Was
next
I right
week.
with the TikTok thing?
I mean, I've seen the videos that you're referring to,
Hmm.
and yeah, they are chia seeds. So yeah, I love having shit in my drink. You know, I'm a bubble tea girl. Like, you know,
Well,
I say.
okay, that's another
I'm a,
mystery
I'm
drink.
a
but okay.
smooth drink person.
I
It's-
thought
it's
I was
gotta be-
close.
My money was
So-
on Eric's guess, so.
Yeah.
Well.
I knew there was shit in it. I got that right.
That's chia seeds.
So, all right. Next week, Evan will be on Mystery Beverage, and we're looping back around for summary. I believe.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Does me.
That- Cool.
It's not you.
I think no, it's Eric. It's Eric.
It's
Yeah.
Eric.
Stop thinking it's you. I'll tell you when it's you, Joe. I
Wait,
do this.
I'm on summary for next week?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I haven't been taking a single note. That's gotta be great.
Man.
What do you
Usually
mean?
I'm good but I just thought it wasn't me for next week, so
Maybe
this
I
is gonna
should
be
start
great.
announcing these in the first half. But anyway, yeah. It makes more sense to do it now. Next week, Mystery Beverages Evan, summary is Eric. Cool. Also, Eric had to Evan, Devuk, the bugbear. Evan had to depart briefly. So, and by briefly I mean the rest of the session. So, that is why he is gone right now. He will be back next week. It's just a shame because he's gonna miss some puzzles. And John had to be off camera because his face was removed in a medical procedure.
Yep.
So,
Rather
but
alarming,
that,
honestly.
that will also be sorted out by next week, I believe. So,
It'll probably be sorted out by tomorrow. I'll be on camera tomorrow for Salamander Coast.
Tomorrow's
All
Monday,
right.
John.
Holy shit!
I mean,
Well,
you got a while then.
all
Okay,
right.
so-
Well,
The party.
Unless you know something about Salamander Coast that I don't.
yeah, I'm running
The
it
parties can come up on a coup against me. All right, I'm sorry, Mark. I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
there.
it's fine. That was good. That was nice. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive back into the session.
No, not this character. No.
So,
Get him out of here.
as we left off,
No.
yeah, I'm done.
That one actually hurt me.
Guys, okay, I'm done. Right? It's not happening anymore. So, okay. So the party found their way through the Shaki door. They got down into the city of Takat, city of Serpents, and they're exploring around a bit. They ran into the scholar Tartrick Jade, who is continuing the work of Veli Pembronil in more ways than they thought. They decided that though their goals may not align in the end game, they aligned for now, and that they could help each other out, and maybe they would sort it out later as time went on. They found the Temple of the Fang itself was sealed. 2 keys needed to be placed in it, one for water, one for fire, it seemed, according to Tartrick's guesses. They completed the water puzzle, a series of gears and towers and levels and shit. And they did that, and they found a relic hieroglyph depicting a bunch of religious figures surrounding a child, with snakes adorned all over them. So, now, we're getting ready to go to the second room, the one down the path here. Is there anything people would like to say to each other, or to Tartrick in the 5 minutes or so that we are walking between trials? Figured I would just extend the chance.
Yeah. Harrow would say in bear form, and then quickly realize no one could understand him, and then he would just go quiet.
Okay. Barum will nod to you. He didn't get it either, but he'll nod to you. He knows what it's like.
Elias is just jotting down that last room and its mechanics because he's what's cool. That's it.
Cool. All right. Tartrick, just like as a temperature check, he's not displaying much emotion in front of all of you. I mean, as you were able to gather when you first met him at the Oasis, he has a bit of a reserved and muted personality and temperament at most times, and he still does right now. He does seem slightly uncomfortable, though. He feels a little bit awkward. You know, like when your friend introduces you to new friends and then they leave for a minute, and kind of just with your friends' friends. He's got that kind of vibe going on right now, where he just looks a little unsure of what if he should say anything. He looks unsure of where he should be walking in the group formation. But other than that, he's also, like Elias, just kind of consulting some notes and stuff as you guys approach the second room.
I mean, I don't know if it would be too sus, but like, maybe to get a bit of a gander of what the notes are, at least gist-wise. Like, is it just on things here?
Yeah, upon initial glance, it does just look like he's currently holding a journal that just has some handwritten descriptions in it and a couple of sketches. And it doesn't seem... It seems like the ink is a little faded on it. It does seem like an older text. But if you want to, like, really look real close, I can go ahead and get a perception check from you.
We'll give it a gander.
See how much you're able to
Give it a
glean
real
without...
good gander.
Oh my. Alright.
Someone had to bring out the rolls, and apparently it's me this time.
It's one heck of a gander. Not gonna lie to you.
Session's over. I need to type out the notes. So, but yeah, it seems to be a direct address from Veli. It seems to be like his own first-person writings, piecing some things together. there are general descriptions of puzzles, but there isn't much in the way of precise solutions or anything. And there are some things that are just about like sketches of structures that are in the area. Didn't seem to talk about much that you guys hadn't already seen. There is a sketch on one of the pages that Tartrick quickly flips through of that pillar that said Takat City of Serpents 776. But yeah, it seems like it is definitely as described. There's no other hidden tricks or anything. There's no spooky incantations. There's nothing that says step 7 kill all companions. There's nothing like that. Yeah, nothing like that. And he seems kind of buried in it right now, flipping through some things. He will mumble to the group as you're getting closer. I believe, according to Veli's study, the first room was a challenge for the mind. This next one will perhaps be a little more physical. He describes traps of sorts that we may be running across. I would step carefully. But other than that, unless prompted, that's all he's going to say for now. All right. Anybody else? Cool.
Nope.
Evan, anything?
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and press on. And I will bring you all to the fire room. Sick. So, as you get closer to that glowing doorway, there's a lot of heat that you can feel. A bit of sweat forming rapidly on your bodies, kind of around the armpits and forehead as you start approaching. The door easily creaks open, and it presents you with this just passageway that seems to be running directly over a dangerously hot substance that is steaming below you. You can see it right through the stonework here. It looks like it's about 30 feet below you. So not only would you be falling quite a distance, you can imagine landing in it would be very, very painful. It's not lava. You're not above a volcanic area necessarily. But you see that it is some sort of liquid that is able to get very, very hot. Elias, you could probably deduce with your passive intelligence that this is a substance that has a higher boiling point than water. So it could very well be hotter than boiling water and still in its liquid state.
Okay. It's not lava, though.
No, it appears to be some sort of other substance of some sort that is a little bit unfamiliar. So it maybe wouldn't be immediate death like lava typically would be for a level 8, but it would not be good.
Okay.
So, as you're all in here, unpause this particular one so the tokens can actually move about, because that is important for this one. First issue, these two bridges that cross over into the main platform right above this 30-foot drop into the hot liquid. Second issue, a tile floor that appears to have thin pressure plates surrounded by these 6 statues facing inward. Third issue, a large cord that runs along the floor from side to side here. And final issue, these 2 statues, even bigger than the other 6 down here, standing right in front of a sealed door. Once again, this main hut at the end of the room.
Question.
Yes.
Sealed door. Is it just a slab, or can we see anything on the other side? Is there like...
It is. It appears to be a metal slab, kind of like the entrance to the city itself, but there is a square in the middle that looks like it is made of a different substance of some sort.
Okay. But we can't see through it.
No, not yet.
Okay. Is this a roof?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is technically a roof.
Can I ascertain if anything on that roof is trapped?
From here, that would be quite hard to tell. But it doesn't appear so right now, no.
Okay. Hold on. Elias is going to look Callum and say,
Are you able to see anything over there that appears to be trapped? Or any mechanism that you think you can see?
Yeah, I can take a look, and Callum will go to take a look.
Okay. Callum, when you say go to take a look, what is your path?
well, okay, Elias meant just from here.
All right. Yeah, then I mean, just from here, maybe seeing if, I guess specifically if the bridges in front of them seem to be entirely sturdy enough to walk across relatively, confidently.
Go ahead and roll investigation for that.
Okay.
Roll of the night.
Oop. That's gonna be a dirty 20.
Cool. No. You kind of notice on top they look fine, but as you're peeking around, you're able to see underneath them. And their structure is not solid. It's almost accordion-like in a way. It looks like a structure that is snapped between one end of the stone and the other, not a fluid piece of it. Something that could very easily move around and bend.
I have another question.
Not as solid as you would want. Yes.
Is Hera still a bear?
Currently, yeah.
Okay. Elias is gonna look to Barrow, and say,
Do you feel like going on a trip with me?
Yeah. Barrow will nod.
okay. Elias is gonna put his hand on Barrow, and I'm gonna dimension door on top of this roof.
Okay. Totally. So, boop. Go ahead and cast or expend that slot. And without trouble, Barrow and Elias, you land on top of that roof.
Elias just waits.
How long would you like to wait?
A couple seconds to see if there's a trap that's gonna go off.
Okay. Nothing occurs, it seems.
Hera will go back into halfling form
All right.
after he jumps down over here.
Good call, just in case.
Okay. So yeah, you can land there.
Elias kind of looks over the edge.
Are you okay? Was there a trap?
He looks up and just goes, ah!
Alright, I'll take that as a no.
Oh, sorry, I was still speaking in bear. I never shake it off after getting out of form. No, I'm quite alive.
Good. I only thought this far. I don't know where to go from here, but we got past all of that stuff.
Well, hopefully you find something useful that you can solve over there. If this series of traps is solvable with the rest of us standing all the way over here, I have no problem with that course of action.
I would like to.
I would like to investigate these lion creature statues.
I would like to assist that
Okay.
advantage.
Sweet. Harrow, roll.
I'm gonna give myself guidance before I do that.
Hell yeah. Roll with guidance advantage.
Investigation.
Yeah.
It's 1. 20.
Alright. It's a dirty 20 plus a guidance.
23.
Sick. 23. Alright. Harrow, you can definitely see along the belly. You can see it faintly, and you can feel it sort of with your back of your hand along the stone. There is heat pockets in here. It definitely seems like this is not just a statue, it is a mechanism of sorts that is capable of shooting out fire. Or at least some form of heat.
Is he able to see the trigger?
Can I turn it off?
It seems that it's not really an on-off thing. In fact, right now it might be as off as it gets. It seems like there is just a funnel of heat that is coming through here, and the statue itself is what's keeping it from bursting out continuously.
That's fun. It looks like the cat has its own tongue and won't be frying us today.
Just in case. Elias is going to cast Mage Hand and just float it in between the two.
Okay. Elias, as you do, the hand goes slowly forward, and all of you in the entire room can see it. There's just a snap where two yellow glowing eyes just shoot open on each statue, and within a quarter of a second of that happening, and that same reddish, like metal smelt liquid comes flowing out of both of their mouths. And you can see that if there was a real thing there that the eyes were able to sense, it would have taken a substantial amount of damage. The question is, do you want to leave the hand there, or are you immediately retracting it?
Does it seem like when that triggered, it like triggered the use of it that it had, and now it's kind of dormant? Maybe has to recharge?
It seems like it keeps going.
Oh.
It flows for, like, it just kind of keeps pumping
I'll
out.
remove the hand.
Okay. Alright, so you remove the hand, and there is now a somewhat sticky pile of this very, very hot smelt liquid that is creating steam just lying on the stone right there.
Are any ideas?
I'm gonna investigate this rope behind us and see if that helps.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation there as well.
16.
Cool. All right, with a 16, you can see, kind of getting low, you can see that there are bushels on either side here that seem to contain a sack of a bunch of pointed sticks, a bunch of darts, that look like they're held in place by the tension of the rope and would be launched if the rope had any amount of pressure placed onto it that shifted the weight. It's basically a tripwire that has a needle trap attached to it.
Cool. So that's not connected.
I'm gonna Elias is gonna shout over and say,
Ozzy, would you like to come over? We maybe need your help.
I mean, I cannot teleport over as you do, and
I can teleport
getting
you here.
there's... Oh. Okay.
Yes or no? I need consent.
Yes, you have my consent.
"All right, vortex warp."
All right. I need your
Fill it with
permission to turn you into sand for a sec. All right. All right, Anzi goes over there. Anzi, as you reappear in front of the two of them, you hear Barum, now 50 feet or so away from you, just like, like, oh god, where'd she go? But he calms down pretty quickly, seeing you on the other end. Now, enough used to what this Elias guy does sometimes. Alright, 3 of you are now on this side. Smelt pile hanging out right here. Statues are currently not breathing.
I do have an idea.
Okay.
Can I use Mage Hand and pick up some of the smelt pile?
Sure. As you go in to do that, more will shoot. But, yeah, you can, like, swoop some up. Since I assume Mage Hand does not have a heat issue.
Yeah, it's just corporeal, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think even Mage Hand has, like, hit points, does it?
No.
No. Can I place the smelt pile onto that square in the metal door so it was a different material?
Okay. So yeah, you can pick up with the Mage Hand. More is shooting out. The heat is really oppressive to the 3 of you standing there, but you try not to back up too far and hit this trip rope that is quite deliberately placed right there. And as you place it on that center piece, a little bit of it, you do see that the shape caves in just a little bit, and a sort of liquid runs down the center of the door. It seems that the material vaporized when it touched whatever this is, but it did melt the center of the door just a little bit.
Alright, well, I guess we have to keep doing this? Maybe? Unless...
Does it seem like the statues are movable?
They're very firmly in place, but maybe
Okay.
with a lot of strength, yeah.
Can I just use Mage Hand to chuck that slag at it instead of just placing it on it?
Yeah. It will
a
take a
baseball.
while. Yeah, it'll take a while, and the pile will continue to grow in size, probably
Mhm.
prompting all of you to want to move over some. But, yeah, this counts as a solution, much like Harrow spitting into the level. This works, so you can keep getting it on, and it is a messy, noisy, sweaty process as more of this heating material just keep pouring out, and you're just kind of sloppily just throwing it onto the center. But eventually, it looks like enough of it has melted through. And when you pull the mage hand away, and the statues finally stop attacking at it, you can see now that there is a hole. And you can see through, and as you look through, it appears that there is a target just sitting at the end of that room, up against the wall, that you can now see through the hole that was created.
Target?
Yes.
Can the people in the back see? Callum and Davuk?
Yeah, it's, they're close enough, they could definitely see it.
Does Callum have anything that can shoot?
See what? Sorry, I step
There
away.
was a square in the middle of the door. We melted it away, and now inside of the door, inside of the shed thing, there's a target. I know Davuk can shoot it.
I'm gonna produce a flame and try to huck it through the hole at the target.
That works too.
All right.
And I also do have a hand crossbow and ray of frost.
Oh,
too,
dope.
so
Okay, cool. All right, let's check that produce flame thing first, though. So you go ahead and you can just try to chuck it in there.
That's a 27.
All right. You hit the target. And the door, much like the door to the water room, slides open. The only issue now is that only 3 of you are over here to get whatever's in there and then get back. And, if I may get the draw tool real quick. Ba-ba. That is all burning hot liquid right now.
But there's a thing inside.
It seems like, yeah, in a similar arrangement as before, there is a second semicircle and some sort of depiction along the walls.
Harrow will look at other people and then just look in there and Missy step in.
Noise.
Sweet. All right. So go ahead and expend that spell slot and swoop. So you find the other half. The patterns carved into this semicircle are fairly similar to the other ones, but you can see the more jagged shapes looking more like licking flames as opposed to lapping waves. And the depiction that Harrow can convey to everyone else is a slightly more intense scene. This scene shows a somewhat airy figure, a sort of mystical type creature, magical in some sense. Limbs are slightly askew and form into wisps. And this figure is standing hands open. There appears to be an infant wrapped in cloth in front of this airy figure. And on the other side of him, a mass of snake heads forming what could be called a sort of hydra creature, but it's more like a pit that has gained sentience. Just hundreds of them wrapped into one another like cables and vines. So, airy figure, arms out, seeming to be presenting a infant in front of this giant pit of snakes.
Question real quick.
Yeah.
The airy figure, could it, I guess, represent a djinn then?
So, we'll say when Harrow is able to pop out and communicate that to folks, I can have you. I'll say maybe, and we can maybe confirm it with a roll. I'm just trying to think of what roll that would be. History makes sense.
I don't know, because, like, just from the depiction of it, like, would it seem like it? Like, I don't know how much, I guess, anyone would know about, like, Jin's actual forms and stuff, but we already know that there's one involved in the whole process, so...
Maybe we can skirt the dice. What I will say is, when all of you heard from no one last session, whatever that was, and you heard that there was a Jin involved, you would know, just as, like, residents of Illica, like, you would know generally what a Jin is. You would know that there's, like, 4 elemental types. So that is a guess that Anzi could make with just the knowledge that you would have. But if you want, you can roll a history check to see if you gain anything else from the particulars of this, like, language system, this way of depicting things, Katana pets, the whole deal, and what you know about that, if you would like.
And they have +1, but, you know, we rolled a natural 20 earlier, so...
We'll see.
That was not bad. There we go. That's more standard. There we go.
So what I said is...
Yeah. It's cool.
That's pretty much what you know. You're like, that might be a Jin, and then you think about it and you go, yeah, that might be a Jin.
Fantastic.
Okay. Well, got the semicircle, got the lore. Now everybody just needs to get back.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't think about the way. I didn't think about getting us back.
I was gonna say, you're alright, like...
Shit.
Yeah. Every trap has been unsolved, so,
Well, that's fine. I guess.
Okay. Hey! So, sorry I've been so quiet, but I've been thinking of a really good idea. That's why I've been so quiet. Okay, now that we got that out of the way. So, you said that the statues right there, that they shoot fire?
That is correct.
Okay, so I've been kind of working on something over here. So I think I can shoot ice beams out of my hand. So maybe what I could do is I could create like a little layer of ice in front of the shooty part. So that way when it goes to shoot you, if you happen to step on the wrong plate, you get a little bit of a buffer. So that way you don't get hit by the fiery bolt immediately. What? Is a cat in here? Okay. So
Okay, I lied. I like cats. Tarcher pulls out 9 cats.
You're damn right.
Are you talking about the ones behind us or across the way? Because we don't care about the ones behind us.
Like,
we need to get back.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like those statues. These ones right here. Those ones.
All right. I guess you could try it.
All right. And I guess he'll try and shoot Ray of Frost at this one's mouth and this one's mouth.
Okay.
Just to like.
Wait, I'll just also say, I guess, because I feel like these things are really hot, and your thing is cold, but, like, you know, eventually it's gonna heat up. If you want to just focus on one side, I can block shit then using my shield. So you focus on one side, I can focus another, we make our way across. Done.
Cool, yeah.
Just so I don't have to shout across because I'm not doing that, I'm sorry.
So, is the idea here then, like, rather than figure out the puzzle, you're gonna block one end with frost, block the other end with the shield, and just like straight line.
That's you're hearing that correctly.
Okay, cool.
Also, I'm gonna firebolt this rope just to get it out of the way. Just let's just trigger that trap now.
Is that not better to just avoid it? We
No,
don't know
because
what
then it
that
can't.
does.
Well, let's just back up
What if the
here.
whole floor collapses and we all just are in lava?
So
Well, then I'll use my spell
Not
slots.
trigger
Alright,
the traps
step
for
one.
I'll
that.
use my spell slots if that happens.
Step 1, Harrow, I see you moved your token out. How would you like to traverse across the hot liquid this time?
I'll just use another spell slot.
Okay. Misty step again. All right.
Yeah.
Step 2, you want everybody to get like back in this corner so Elias can trigger the rope. Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay then. Harrow, I'll just go ahead and move you back there again, just in case. So, Elias, you go ahead and shoot firebolt at the rope.
Pew pew.
The AC of an unmoving rope is very low, but for other reasons, go ahead and roll an attack roll, as you normally would for firebolt.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure, I got you. So that's a 19.
Okay,
That's 13 points of fire damage.
gotcha. All right. So you hit it, and it shakes a little bit, and as soon as it shakes, there is in cones that only get as wide as there to there across the whole way. A bunch of needles that have something red, like a red gel of some sort on the tip, all shoot out and scatter along the center. So now there's just like a pile of like 100 like flame gel arrow things. They're all right here. With a 13 though, that was also enough damage to burn through the rope itself. As soon as that happens, you hear a and a large axe blade just falls where the rope was. That is about 20 feet wide in the center there. So both parts of the trap, it seems, are done now. There is a giant axe blade and a pile of flame needles that are all on the floor, and the rope is just now slack on the ground.
Alright then, that takes care of that one. Do your first thing!
Okay.
All right.
I guess we're running.
So
Yeah.
now
Total.
this is a two-pronged thing. It is a matter of precision on Callum's end, and it is a matter of timing and resilience on Anzi's end. So, normally, these effects were not going to be attack rolls. They were going to be save or suck rolls with dex. So, with you holding up your shield, that's going to change mechanics a little bit.
Well, I will just quickly say, just in case it changes things, just my intention here. It's not just using it as the shield, but also specifically with the Shield Master's feat, with the last point, it has a thing that if you're subject to an effect that makes you take dex saves, and what is it? Yeah, and you are able to succeed to take only half damage. You're able to use your reaction to succeed at the saving throw. But that's not what I'm trying to say. But basically, it has a thing to be able to block using the shield with the effect. And so I'm taking that not really as the way it's written, but the way, the vibes of, you know, being better. She's better trained, better skilled at being able to block those things with the shield, using it strategically.
Cool.
So beyond it just being that kind of barrier as well, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think especially too if you're gonna take point and be angling your shield all to one end, letting everybody follow behind you. I'm gonna say that even if you fail, we're just gonna save the other two from the damage because you are deliberately getting yourself in harm's way to hopefully block it all. So I think we'll do that, and then we'll also go ahead and tack this on, because these will be dex saving throws to take full or half. So if you want, yeah, you can also go ahead and take full or none as opposed to full or half with the success here. So.
See dex saving throws?
Yeah.
Oof. Alright.
Well, she'll be
I'll
saving.
run to her.
She'll be saving you two from needing to do it.
Oh!
Yeah.
Alright.
Assuming that things go well on Callum's end, because then there's a whole second side that she can't worry about, and then we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, second shield.
Okay.
Callum, is Ray of Frost an attack spell? Like you need to make an attack roll?
It is, but I just had another idea that may be better.
Okay.
At a greater cost.
All right.
Okay. I'm assuming Anzi is going to be shielding this side over here, because that's the side they're. Okay. So
Whatever side doesn't
Callum,
matter.
if he can, just because it's not a super far jump, it is just a 5-foot crossing, just to jump across the bridge. Just yeah.
As long as you got the math for that, yeah, just go ahead.
Okay.
No need to roll.
D&D movies taught me anything. As soon as you step on that one spot,
the whole bridge falls down. So, and then with these, instead of Ray of Frosting, he's gonna see them start to run. He's gonna be like, ah, Ray, what? No, not now, not now. And he's just gonna yell, and it's gonna be a 2nd level spell slot. He's gonna cast Dragon's Breath, and he's gonna go ahead and do it cold in a 15-foot cone. So that will cover all 3 of these bad boys in frost.
Sweet.
I'm glad he didn't cast Ray of Frosting.
Because of your more foolproof approach there, we'll just go ahead and deactivate these 3. And then, at that point then, Anzi, all that needs to happen is I need you to make 3 dex saves.
Oh my gosh. It's like when you breathe in really cold air.
I think it's 3. That's 3. Cool. Okay. We got a little dicey, but then we saved at the end, I hope.
Alright. Okay. 1st and 3rd are a success. So in the middle, Anzi, you will just be taking 10 points of fire damage. But other than that, other than slipping up a little bit in the middle as you're hopping across, and just running along these 3 tiles here just to have the most coverage of the flame and protect everybody else, you're good. The 3 of you are able to make it. Whoops. And bang. Yeah, okay, thanks. Alright. You 3 are able to just cheese through with the shield and the spells and everything. Anzi taking a tiny amount of damage. Spells being used to mitigate multiple situations. But other than that, the fire room of traps has been bested by trickery. So, all that really needs to happen now is all of you need to decide if you're just going to hop this tiny chasm or walk across these weird bridges. It is only a 5-foot jump. I don't think there would be anybody in the party who doesn't have the math for that. So, I think as long as your strength score is 10, it should be 0 issue.
Yep.
What is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm at 11, so I'm right above the gap.
I'm also at 11.
Sweet.
16, so I think I'm good.
Yeah, so
13.
Yeah.
boop, boop, and
Also,
boop.
hello, Lampinator. Welcome. Thanks for the raid, my guy.
Hey,
Long time no see, indeed.
what's up, Lamp? How's it going? We're doing dungeon puzzles. All right.
We done did a dungeon puzzle.
Well,
We didn't really do the puzzle. We just kind of did it. You know?
Yeah, we really fucking strong armed
We
it.
did
It's
the
like,
dungeon.
hey man,
Yeah, my
That-
bad.
that is absolutely a solution. Okay, this is
Why
a
have brains when you
Nintendo.
have skill?
This is a Nintendo puzzle. If you find a way to use our physics engine, just get over it. It's fine.
Why use brains when you can use spell slots?
I'm gonna hurt us later.
So,
Fine.
with a little more straightforward approach in the water room and a fairly unorthodox approach in the fire room, you now have both halves. Go ahead and get you out of here. Pull you back to the interior. And I will lower that music. Lower that landscape. All right. You now have both halves there. You've looked at both of the depictions on the walls in the chambers. And Veli kind of looks through his notes as you walk back to the center. Well, I believe from here it's rather straightforward. Unless there's anything we would like to do before we enter what may perhaps be a dangerous room. This is it.
Maybe take a nap. A little rest, a little siesta.
I'm going to be honest, I am also on the take a nap. I could use the recovery on some of my arcane magic.
I could just use a nap.
Oh, alright.
Well, at least when Veli was here some decades ago, there was no reason to fear danger in the central interior here of the city. I believe we should be fine, as long as some of us take watch. That is, of course, assuming that the one resident he noted still being here in Takat is still past that door, and not somewhere else.
Question: is a short rest just an hour?
Yep, just an hour, uninterrupted by danger or heavy exertion.
Alright.
Can we, I guess, do we need to take watches or can we just do a short rest?
That's up to you. It just depends if you as a party think there's reason to show that level of concern. Taking a watch would make it easier to avoid getting surprised by something.
I mean, I think may as well. There's no harm in doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
a watch.
there's no loss really. You still get your short rest if you're taking a watch during a short rest. It doesn't count as exertion. So.
No, great. Better safe than sorry.
Let's do it. Yep.
Okay. Hartrek will gladly volunteer to be one of those people, as he has expended nothing. He's just been referencing his notes as you guys solve puzzles, either going, "Ah, yes, that's must have been the way," or, "Well, that's different, but it's working." Either way, he's not really used anything, so he's cool taking a watch.
Oh shoot, I didn't use my... There we go.
Nice.
Hell yeah, dude. 6 points of healing.
So real quick, just because it's been a hot. When Veli was originally here, he didn't get any further than the temple, right? So has he been past those doors? Is that the implication? Like he didn't get past it, or?
You could ask Tartrik about the details, but what you know that no one told you was that Veli got to the Temple of the Fang and something prompted him to turn around.
Yeah, okay. So we don't know what it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then I guess just on the watches, kind of bring that up. So, do you know any of the particulars of what turned Valley around?
Well, He only briefly details it in his notes. I believe it was simply a matter of practicality. He realized that his trip would be ending soon, and people would wonder where he was, that the college would be less inclined to give him the resources for something so dangerous. I think perhaps he realized that whatever he needed to do beyond the Temple of the Fang was simply inachievable, at least at the time. But given the little bits of information he shares about this lone populace of Takat, I do wonder if there was something a little bit more to it. That's the only part of his account that is strangely sparse. He doesn't name the person he met, nor say much of what they said. All he notes is that he spoke to someone past that very door there, and that conversation led him to believe it was wise to turn around.
Even after all the effort I imagine he took in getting here.
Indeed. After all that effort, he thought it better to copy what he did find and leave it for someone else. Could have simply been an act of self-preservation. He was already getting quite old, and I'm sure his kids and his partner missed him. Perhaps he was simply thinking of them.
So then what about you then? You think he was wrong for turning around? You hear you must be right.
I don't think he was wrong for whatever personal reasons he decided. But I do think if there's a chance for someone to find more and pass it on to the next person, it's worth it.
Also, I suppose that means that that little book of yours is not going to have much more information after those doors, is it?
No, it's not. I'm happy with what he set up for me. The main benefit of this book actually came before this city. Told me some things about the Thrycreen, a couple of facts of which I was able to share with all of you. It also detailed some teleportation circles that he had set up in order to make my transit a little more simple. I gladly used them. But most of his writing is indeed about the Beatles. Well, I have spent the better part of a few months now going over that info, studying what I can. There are less of them now than there were when he visited. Some of that is natural, and some of that is, well, it's us humanoids making decisions that perhaps we see as justified. Either way, this little section of his notes, well, curiosity did kill the cat, they say. Hopefully it doesn't kill me.
Yeah. She was just in there, giving Barum some scratches. A couple of treats.
Cool. And, I think by now, it being around mid-afternoon of the day after, Hanji, I just want you to know that the necklace has recharged.
Hell yeah. don't know if I want to do that now, though.
Just letting you know.
Does it count as a attunement? No, it's instant, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
It's instant. It just can only be active on one creature, and as soon as it's taken off, it needs 24 hours to recharge.
I don't know. Is it time for bullshit? Probably right. What about a time before we're about to talk to something and then have an extra pair of, like, you know,
Yeah.
ears, mouth, and brain?
Baron can talk to the one person and say
Yeah.
what he knows, which is not much about the material plane,
No,
but
I trust him.
you know.
Yeah, fuck it. Should probably just be thinking about that then. And does she have it? Probably. I don't know.
I think no one would have handed it back to you.
Yeah, for purposes of this, she'll just kind of think about it. And then remember about it. And she'll take it out and smack it on him
Okay.
gently. Not with force at all.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, hey, you clasp it around him, and at first you hear Barum just kind of going, and then as soon as it clasps around him, he goes, I mean, that's rather strange. I guess it looks nice. Oh, okay, whatever she wants.
Yeah, Auntie would just go into a laugh fit. Oh. Oh. Strange to hear your voice.
What? What? My lady?
Isn't
And
it?
his eyes go wide. He just, what? I'm honored. And he does like a little bow thing.
Surely you know we're past that, right?
Well, we have, it's just, wow. This is what you sound like. It was, okay. Hello.
Hello.
Maybe this isn't what you sound like. Maybe it's the amulet making you sound like this. Maybe
What do I sound like?
not unpleasant.
Oh. Okay.
Just a little,
Flashback.
I don't. Ooh. Wait, can I hear everyone else? Hey, Callum. That's his sound, right? I've heard you say Callum toward him a few times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, by the wind and the stars, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can hear you. Believe me, this is a lot weirder for me than it is for you. I'm gonna be really honest.
Oh,
Can we all hear him?
Yep, everyone can now understand Barum.
Language. Hell yeah.
Who's talking, right?
Oh, you must be I don't know what sound you have yet. I haven't quite caught it.
Auntie would just whisper in his ear. Elias.
Oh, I just remembered. It's Elias. Thank you.
It is good to meet you properly, Baron.
Well, properly, I guess is the way of putting it. This is rather improper for me and for my people. Really, we have quite a culture around interpreting you two-legged material plane steed rider people, but I mean now this is I might have to consult the texts when I get back. Well, I mean not the text, the oral, the stories, because it's all
I
interpretive.
don't know.
Okay, well, the point is I might be one of the first of my kind to be doing this, and that is an overwhelming responsibility, and I feel I might get emotional.
May I ask, where are you from?
Yeah, that's the thing, is I notice you all like to have names for things that have kind of, I don't know, all these front mouth noises to them. Like I know that my noise is Barum, and that's fine. I'm cool with that noise. But we don't really do that. I mean, I know what the place feels like. It feels like how. So that's the place. That's where I'm from.
Interesting. I've never heard of that place.
Hard to spell.
God, I'm just trying to check, but I feel like it is a thing that, like, the spirit itself is either celestial or Feywild, right?
Yeah,
It's
I've
okay,
been
I'll make that
picturing
up.
it is either or. You can
Yeah,
totally
celestial, a fiend. Well, not a fiend.
Celestial Fae.
I imagine about him as a celestial. I feel like I
Yeah.
would check out more.
So he is from, just so we know, he is in my head from a plane with lots of rolling hills bathed in sunlight.
Mhm.
But that's all he really can articulate.
Hmm.
He's not like, I am from the seventh seal of the eastern plane of, like, he doesn't know. He just
Is
runs
he
around.
a Beastlands?
I
I
was
imagine
thinking-
it'd be like a play that's like at least somewhat adjacent
Is it?
and
Yeah.
celestial. Being celestial shit. So yeah,
Mm.
we'll just relay that. Sorry, I was just trying to race through it. I could not find it.
Tartrick, by the way, is just the whole time like, oh. And he starts sketching Barum really quickly in a page. And this is worth keeping. This is. Well, I suppose we can exchange all sorts of information. Now I can properly tell you about my home, and you can tell me what we're doing so far from Alithas.
I'm gonna make him better. I feel like that's the main reason.
Okay. Normally you do that up close. What are we doing?
To make him better, we need to find something in this place, some kind of cure, and that will make him better. We don't have that. That's why I cannot be close.
We gotta bring it to him. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Who are you? And he just turns to Tartrick. And he goes, my name is Tartrick Jade. I am a scholar from the University of Thrall. This is quite a strange thing for me as well. Don't let my flat affect confuse you of that. This is quite alarming, and I am filled with wonder. So, you said there is a name for your place, which I have tried to transcribe here, and he turns his sheet over, and for anybody that reads Dwarvish, it just says, like, ow wow. And he turns it back. So, do you have a name? Do your species, they have a name? Do you have other species there? And he's just, like, rapidly taking notes. He's just, I don't know, it's a lot to go over. Have you ever heard of those horses with horns? We got those. Horses with wings, we got those. Horses with horns and wings, we got those.
Wow.
Let's see. Horses with a bird face, we got those. And then there's a few that are just sort of like weird horses. I'm one of those.
Horse.
I don't know that weird. I suppose you're more camel-like, really. Okay, well, sure. No, I understand. And Tartrick and Barum will just chat to each other for a while about stuff, unless anyone else has any input.
I got
Not for
nothing.
me.
Honestly, would just be watching the exchange, just enraptured, you know? Like, it's entertaining.
All right. Well, unless there's anything else, that can conclude our short rest then. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. Evan, anything?
Epic.
All right. So let's go ahead and end our short rest here. Hopefully everybody's rolled whatever they need to already. So you have these two symbols. You're able to place one on one end, one on the other very simply. And as you all just sort of step back and wait a second, there is as they lock, the groove between them seals and becomes flush, and the two do a full clockwise rotation. And the door seems to part. There is now a split down the middle, much like the split that formed in the main electrified entrance. And the path is now open, and it is very dark. So I assume Elias said earlier that he could dancing light stuff to illuminate it.
Oh yeah, dancing
So-
lights every day.
So let's dance. So you
If there's
get your
dim
dancing lights
or
ready,
dark, we're dancing lights.
and you start to go through. And this is just a very quiet, very dimly lit room. As you are kind of going through it, you once again sense water. You can feel pools of it at either side of you. You can feel the ground beneath you transition from natural soot, stone, and dirt to a very fine floor. Something that is much more preserved than a lot of the other areas you've been through, and certainly more than the interior city street. You can hear gears turning ever so slightly, similar to the gears that were turning in the water room. You can hear fire flickering on torches somewhere, and yet causing very little light, except for a dim glow in a room ahead of you. And Elias, as you're moving your dancing lights around, the main thing you see is there is a chair, or perhaps more like a throne, constructed of stone, at the head of what must used to have been a temple place where people could gather and pay witness to something. And as your lights move up it, you actually see a leg, and then a torso, and you see what appears to be a corpse. A body that is seemingly uninjured, but completely unmoving. No breath, no twitch, eyes open in a blank stare. Long white hair, an elvish point to the ears. Vaguely familiar to all of you, but you can't quite place it. Not quite yet. Does anyone step closer to investigate?
Hera would, and to just do a medicine, like to go up and check his vitals, maybe pull out some roots and herbs.
All right, go ahead and roll a medicine check on this body.
I think Anzi would also be going up with him just to do another divine sense.
Cool. So this space you would still be getting the desecrated scent from. And then it's fiend, celestial, and fey, right? Or fiend, celestial, undead.
Yeah, I just pinged it again.
Okay. Sweet.
12 total.
All right, so 12 for medicine. Okay. So, Anzi, there is a smell of undeath coming from this body. The circumstances are not natural, you know that much. I will give you a bit of bonus information, however, that it is not as wretched of a scent as some other fiends and undeads sometimes are. It is perverse, somewhat rancid, and aged, but there is an immediate repulsion or a sense of danger that comes from it. What is even more concerning than before, though, is the desecration that you are able to sense. Something very perverse happened here once upon a time. That much you were certain of. and this entire area has had as much holy energy stripped from it as possible by somebody or something to atone for that. And finally, Harrow, with that well on medicine, you pat about. You feel upon the forehead, no heat. Feel upon the chest, no heartbeat, no breath. You look for any sign of injury, any sign of wound that may have been hidden upon first glance. And as you're tracing the body, you get down to the hands and the wrists. And faster than you expected could possibly happen, those fingers coil. And there's not a firm squeeze, but there is a gentle touch from your hand to this corpse's hand. And the head slowly tilts up. And you all hear a voice come from it, along with a cracking and setting sound from the body's jaw, as if it is setting back in place after decades of not speaking and not moving. Creaks a little bit. You take interest in fixing corpses. Good. You'll need that. And it lets go and leans forward. And suddenly, in this dim room, as this corpse comes to life, you all are struck with the second of the 5 visions to find you on your journey. You remember the appearance of a feminine figure surrounded by scrolls, potions, hard at work, and with a militia gathered around her. A person known as Pasht the Rebellious. And though this person now looks quite different before you, less feminine, more worn, and entirely alone, upon further inspection, the resemblance is unmistakable. So you have seen Pasht the Rebellious in the past from your visions, but I will share what they look like now as they wake up and look to all of you.
Cute.
And as Pasht sits, still undead, preparing to talk with the party and with Tartrick about what must lie next, as you all wonder what part of the quest is to come, what challenges yet await you, what information Pasht may hold that they have held on to undeath to give you, and what may have made Veli choose to turn back. That is where we will go ahead and end our session. Joe, take it away.
Woo.
For the last bit.
Woo! All right. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for the continuation of the Adventures of the Salamander Coast, on Wednesday for the Tales of Everend, on Saturday for the Isles of Ivarian. We will be back this weekend, or next Sunday for the continuation of Buried Time. Thanks so much for watching, everybody, and we hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.